Oh, Mass Effect. Good old friend. It is so good to see you again. So the remaster came out on the 14th, and according to Steam, I've been in-game for nearly 20 hours, so it's been a journey full of smiles. The first game got the most amount of attention according to BioWare, and it shows. Memories often make things better than they actually were, but this actually meets those memories and then some. So it looks really crisp, and the moment that the Normandy flew into the Citadel is like watching it for the first time, so it kind of sucked me right back in. I found that the Citadel interior was every bit as mesmerizing as it was all those years ago. The water looks amazing and the lighting is truly next level. They really did a great job on it. And getting around the Citadel is still familiar. So you got the elevator rides that now can be skipped, which is pretty cool. And wait, Liara, come on now. Anyway, there is still fast travel, which I rarely used in my original playthrough back in the day, but now I am using it all the time as a very quick and efficient way to get to where you need to go. Now, is there stuff that I don't like? Yeah, actually the lighting. I said it was great, but there's some weird little wonky stuff going on, and it creates weird shadows on characters. It's almost like there's like a stain on them. It also doesn't happen all the time, and frick, Liara, come on. Ooh, she does look fine though. Very photogenic. You're looking good. So this brings me to the following addition to this game, photo mode. It allows perspectives that you would normally never have, which is a fresh and cool thing. So there's plenty of adjustments to make the picture your own, and one of the great things is the option to remove characters from the picture so you can just shoot the surroundings if you want, or just focus on Shepard, for instance. One of the things you do have to do is hide the user interface before taking a picture. Now on PC that's tab and then you hit spacebar to take a picture. If you don't do that, it'll show up and that ruins a picture. I found that out early on, luckily, because otherwise the rest of these pictures that I'm showing right now would have been completely ruined. And some of the pictures that you take, I think, look absolutely breathtaking. So as far as performance goes, it runs pretty good on my old i7 4790K processor with the R9 390 combo. On the Citadel, it would touch the 50 FPS range at times, but at the end of my walk, the average FPS was 67 and the 1% low was 44, which is completely acceptable because even though it's an older game, they up the textures and textures take processing power. Inside the Normandy, the game would nearly peg the software limited 240 FPS, but walking into a more demanding area such as the drive core would drag down the FPS considerably. Interestingly enough though, every cutscene seems to run at a capped 60 FPS.
I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
I should go.
Now when we go over to the combat, it runs extremely smooth without any hiccups, and I find the controls pretty smooth and direct. Now the average FPS was 146 with a 1% low of 74. Very good. When it comes down to vehicle combat, it is smooth as well, although I have noticed that when I'm driving around, sometimes I get some FPS dips. This time though, I get an average FPS of 81 with the 1% low of 57 at the end of the run, which again is very playable and no issue at all. I am so happy that this game runs the way that it does on my older rig. So conclusion, I personally can't be more happy with this game, with the way it performs. It runs so nice on my older hardware, and that is one of the things that I really take to heart, when older hardware can play games properly and still with nice FPS. Now, of course, the only thing that really changed was the textures. My R9 390 had 8 gigs of texture RAM, so that should be no problem at all to stuff that RAM full and be able to run this game properly, which it obviously does, and it looks absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. Now, if you come in here from an outsider perspective, you haven't played the original trilogy, then you're going to look at it and go, okay, it is not as nice. There are still some textures that could be better. Also, the models, they aren't as crisp as we are expecting them to be. Like Mass Effect Andromeda looks better than this game does. It is just a fact. But that is also a way newer game on a different engine. This is still running on Unreal 3, which is amazing that it looks the way that it does. And even back then, I was amazed with the way it looks. Now it's just freaking next level. So if I have to put a rating together on this game, when it comes down to the storyline, I think it's a 5-star storyline because the lore behind it is absolutely vast. There's so much stuff that just sucks you right in. And there's so much stuff to learn if you want to about this entire universe in game that, you know, it's not like read this stuff. No, it's actually finding this stuff out as you play it. It gets shown to you. It gets explained to you by characters. And that is the sign of a freaking great RPG in my personal book. So then we go over to gameplay. Personally, I think the gameplay is freaking great. It's a huge improvement over the original. So if you played the original and played this, you're gonna have to agree, probably have to agree, that it runs so much better and it controls so much better than the original game did, especially when it comes down to the Mako, because the vehicle in the original game kind of did stupid stuff, and now you actually have mouse look, and it goes where the mouse goes, which is a huge improvement for me. 4 stars for me. Now, how does it run on my older hardware? It's a solid 5 stars. 100%. It's an older game, more textures, I know that, but I cannot give it any less than that. It runs absolutely flawless. Well, almost flawless. Flawless would be completely 60 FPS, but you know, older rig, I accept a couple of dips below 60 FPS on games, especially nowadays, because, you know, we don't have that freaking GPU action that we can just build a new PC as we want. A lot of people are running older hardware, and to have a remaster or a legendary edition run this good, it's great stuff. And then lastly, we get to the value for money. Pay $60 right now at moment of filming for this legendary edition, which means that it is full game price, but you're getting 3 games. So I think $20 per game is pretty darn solid, especially that this is almost a brand new experience for you. And right now I am 20 hours into this game, which means that if I take those $60 and divide it by 20, I'm at $3 an hour for my entertainment. And the great thing is that when you go to a theater or do something like that, you're probably going to be paying $5 or maybe even $10 an hour, depending on what movie you watch and what quality and what time, how many snacks you buy, how far you have to drive. This is seller value, especially because I'm probably going to be way north of 100 playthrough hours in this game. I usually play it once, but those other people that play it multiple times, their value is going to be even better. Say I played for only 100 hours. 60 cents per hour of entertainment, plus electricity, you know, taxes, all that stuff. It's still going to be less than a freaking $1 an hour for the entertainment, and I think that is tremendous value. If you could have 6 stars, that was what I would give it, but you can only do 5. Now, I don't do the whole thing with the half stars thing. I only have 1 4-star, and the rest were all 5 stars. So it's a 5-star game, guys. It really is. If you want to give this a chance, you should. If you're an outsider looking in, the scores are probably going to change completely because I'm going to admit it, I'm biased. I freaking love the trilogy for the most part. You know, it's 5 stars, but there's some parts where that 5-star, 5th-star almost would turn to 4-star, but overall, it's still a 5-star experience. I think if you come into this game from the outside in, you're going to look at it and you go, okay, it doesn't look as good as it could, so the graphics, they're not as great. The controls are clunky. You have to realize that this game is older. You have to realize that you cannot judge this game the same way as you could judge a newer game, like even like Andromeda. Because Andromeda, the freaking gameplay, the fighting action in that game was great. You had jump jets and everything else. You don't have that in these Mass Effect games, which is unfortunate because I love that dynamic. You know, if there was ever a remake, give me all the freaking fighting from Andromeda in this original freaking trilogy, because that would, you know, the 5 stars, I would make a special category for 6 stars at that stage because it changes the dynamic completely. The way you fight with that, it becomes way more three-dimensional. Because right now, I'm sorry to say, it is kind of two-dimensional right now. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to start my playthrough again, to continue on, to go through Mass Effect 1 and then get into the second one and then finally the third one. It is a great experience. I'm freaking loving it. I recommend this game 100%. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, hashtag game for the sake of gaming, and I will see you guys in the flip side. And if you like this content, please hit that subscribe button. That would help me out because the next goal is 1,000 subscribers. Take care.